hand fart. Hey. You okay? How was work? Yeah, you look knackered. Sorry. You've earned the right to look knackered though. Yeah, that's what I mean. I haven't. I've just been sat in my dressing gown with a full face of makeup on watching YouTube videos all day. Well, you see, there's a new Five Nights at Freddy's game coming out, and I've completely forgotten all of the lore, so I'm familiarising myself with it. It's been a very important day. Mm-hmm. Do you want a brew? What? I mean, I'm not judging you. No. Oh my gosh. I'm on such a peppermint hype at the moment. Alright, okay. How about this? Would it be weird if I read you a bedtime story? Would it be weird if I read you a bedtime story? Okay, good. Nice. I love it. I love reading. But I can clean you up first if you want. Yeah. Okay, cool. Before we do though, do you mind if I just take a look at your face? Not in a weird way. Do you mind if I come a bit closer? I'm going to touch your face as well, is that okay? I have just washed my hands. I tell you what, I'm going to moisturise. I'm trying to learn guitar again, so we're a little bit rough. Do you want some? Yeah, it's nice stuff. It's hemp. No, not that kind. Oh, yeah, it's hand cream that gets you high. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool though. Yeah, it just kind of smells like soil. Kind of feels like you've been gardening. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Now, do you mind if I touch your face? Okay, cool. Alright, I'm just gonna come a bit closer. Okay. Just gonna look at the left. Okay. Alright. Okay. Don't be offended, but you look a little bit grimy. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll be really quick. Yeah. All I'm gonna do is cleanse and then do a hot cloth. Can I? Okay, thank you. This one's actually quite posh. It was a free sample. So this is Liz Earle. I know. Cleanse and polish. And it is the hot cloth cleanser. It says it cleanses and gently exfoliates for smoother, clearer skin with rosemary, chamomile, cocoa butter, and eucalyptus essential oil, or essential eucalyptus oil, whatever your persuasion is. So I'm just going to get a little bit closer if that's okay. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to rub this all over your face. Yeah, start with your forehead. And do that side. Down your nose. And your chin. The other side. Okay. We can go over your eyes as well. It's very gentle. You don't want to be putting anything too abrasive in your eyes. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so next, I'm just going to take this hot cloth. Definitely not a tea towel. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place this over your face, okay? It's going to feel really nice, I hope. It should do. Let me know if the temperature's okay. Okay, you ready? You might want to close your eyes. Like I said, definitely not a tea towel. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna press gently just to get all of the crevices of your face nice and cleansed. Okay. course, knew the hat trade quite well already. Since she was a tiny child, she would run in and out of the big workshed across the yard, where the hats were damped and moulded on blocks, and flowers and fruit and other trimmings were made from wax and silk. She knew the people who worked there. Most of them had been there when her father was a boy. She knew Bessie, the only remaining shop assistant. She knew the customers who bought the hats, and the man who drove the cart which fetched raw straw hats in from the country to be shaped on the blocks in the shed. She knew the other suppliers, and how you made felt for winter hats. There was not really much that Fanny could teach her, except perhaps the best way to get a customer to buy a hat. You lead up to the right hat, love, Fanny said. Show them the ones that won't quite do first, so they know the difference as soon as they put the right one on. In fact, Sophie did not sell hats very much. After a day or so observing in the workshed, and another day going round the clothier, and the silk merchants with Fanny. Fanny set her to trimming hats. Sophie sat in a small alcove at the back of the shop, sewing roses to bonnets and veiling to velours, lining all of them with silk, and arranging wax fruit and ribbons stylishly on the outsides. She was good at it. She quite liked doing it. But she felt isolated and a little dull. The workshop people were too old to be much fun, and besides, they treated her as someone apart. Who was going to inherit the business someday? Bessie treated her the same way. Bessie's only talk, anyway, was about the farmer she was going to marry the week after May Day. Sophie rather envied Fanny, who could bustle off to bargain with the silk merchant whenever she wanted. The most interesting thing was the talk from the customers. Nobody can buy a hat without gossiping. Sophie sat in her alcove and stitched and heard that the mare never would eat green vegetables, and that the wizard Howl's castle had moved round to the cliffs again. Really, that man, whisper, 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 whisper. The voices always dropped low when they talked of wizard Howl, but Sophie gathered that he had caught a girl down in the valley last month. Bluebeard, said the whispers, Bluebeard. And then became voices again to say that Jane Farrier was a perfect disgrace the way she did her hair. That was one who would never attract wizard Howl, let alone respectable man. Then there would be a fleeting, fearful whisper about the Witch of the Waste. Sophie began to feel that the wizard Howl and the Witch of the Waste should get together. They seemed to be made for one another. Someone ought to arrange a match, she remarked to the hat that she was trimming at that moment. But by the end of the month, the gossip in the shop was suddenly all about Letty. Cesare's, it seemed, was packed with gentlemen from morning to night, each one buying quantities of cakes and demanding to be served by Letty. She had 10 proposals of marriage, ranging in quality from the mayor's son to the lad who swept the streets, and she had refused them all, saying she was too young to make up her mind yet. I call that sensible of her, Sophie said to a bonnet she was pleating silk into. Fanny was pleased with the news. I knew she'd be all right, she said happily. It occurred to Sophie that Fanny was glad Letty was no longer around. Letty's bad for custom, she told the bonnet, pleating away at mushroom-coloured silk. She would make even you look glamorous, you dowdy old thing. Other ladies look at Letty in despair. Sophie talked to hats more and more as weeks went by. There was no one else much to talk to. Fanny was out bargaining or trying to whip up custom much of the day, and Bessie was